Hey everyone, this is Jasmine. I'm a counselor and a Reiki practitioner. If you would like to find out more about me or what I do, I'm gonna leave my details below so you can check them out. So if you have watched my previous video or videos, you might have resonated with how setting boundaries isn't as simple or as straightforward as it is often portrayed. More often than not, our responses are often shaped by our past conditionings that taught us which needs were safe to express and which were not. However, breaking the cycle isn't impossible, but it also isn't easy, especially when our nervous system interprets boundary setting as a threat. And that's why it can feel so scary, even when we know it's the right thing to do for ourselves. So here, I have compiled some insights and suggestions drawn from both my own experience and my clients to help you begin, and more importantly, to actually help it stick. So first, recognizing the pattern is the first step. So if you're here because you have begun to recognize the pattern for yourself, so let me just offer you a gentle pat on your back. Awareness may sound simple, but for many it can actually be incredibly hard to see, especially when the habit of self-abandonment has been normalized over time. So many years back, when my counselor first suggests that I set firmer boundaries with stakeholders at work, I resisted. I told her that there is no one else to take over my workload, and if I stop replying after work hours, I might just lose her some clients. And she gently asked, in exchange, what is the risk? It took me a while, but I was like, my mental health and my self-care? And she pointed out the obvious. So are you sacrificing your own needs in order to meet somebody else's? And that was the moment I realized I wasn't just allowing others to overstep my boundaries. I had been abandoning myself to prioritize their needs. So if you have been unsure whether you have been letting others cross your boundaries, try reflecting on these few questions. What part of me am I putting aside to keep others comfortable? Do I often feel exhausted, resentful, or invisible after helping others? Have I said yes when I really wanted to say no? Your honest answer may just offer you insights where your boundaries are being tested and where your healing might just begin. So if you haven't been practicing boundaries, you are likely to see things from the other's perspective, and you might not even know what your own needs are. So when I ask my clients what they need or want, I'm often met with silence. Or they will say something like, my father, my mother, my partner thinks that I should. And that's where I gently stop them and I ask, yes, I can hear what they want, but how about you? And the first step in asserting boundaries is to actually figure out what you want, what your needs and wants are. After all, how can we express boundaries when we don't even know what is it? Starting by going on about your life as per usual, but with more intentional observation. Notice where you feel anger, resentment or hurt. And these are often the signs from your psyche telling you, gently nudging you, saying, hey, somebody's crossing a line. And for now, just let go of the pressure to voice out your boundaries out loud. We'll just take it one step at a time. Start small. So once you have gained clarity around your needs, start practicing with the person or the situation that feels the least intimidating. So for me, that meant telling a few friends that I've recently turned pescatarian and I have a peanut intolerance. I have already assessed that these few friends genuinely care about me and would want to respect my dietary choices. But here's the thing. So when I was growing up, my father was visibly displeased with me when I tried to go vegetarian. He told me that I was making things difficult for the family. On top of that, one of my best friends actually mocked me when I opened up myself to her about this choice, and she's like, you siao ah, which meant crazy in dialect. So even now, I know that my current friends wouldn't react like that. My nervous system would still flinch, having the thought that I need to voice it out loud. So our past experiences shape our nervous system's understanding of what is safe. So if you have been shamed or rejected for asserting your needs before, our body may associate similar situations with danger, even when your mind knows that you will be okay. And that is why I suggest starting really small. It is a form of exposure therapy. So begin by speaking up in a low risk, safe and supportive environment. This helps you to slowly build confidence and, more importantly, teach your nervous system that advocating for yourself can actually be safe. Please don't start with the most intimidating situations like confronting somebody bit predictable, or where the stakes are like really high. This could re-traumatize you and reinforce the belief that asserting your boundary is unsafe. Let the small wins build your confidence, like tiny deposits into your safety bank within your psyche. Over time, those deposits add up and strengthen your capacity to face bigger and scarier things. Even when somebody respects your boundaries, it can still take time for them to honor them consistently. So when I first began asserting mine, some people would be polite about it at first. They will honor my requests, honor my boundaries for just a few days, and then they slip back into their own pattern. I remember venting to my own counselor, being so frustrated. What is the point? It takes so much effort for me to just speak up, and things would just go back to how they were. She then gently reminded me that I have been accommodating other people for so long. It simply wasn't part of their habit to consider my needs. It wasn't because that they didn't care. It was just unfamiliar to them. Like any new habits, it's gonna take time and sometimes gentle reminders for others to adjust. So if you're feeling discouraged, be patient. Change is gonna take time. So you're not just creating a new boundary, you are helping build a new equilibrium, one reminder at a time. Forgive yourself if it didn't come out the way that you intend. So when anger, resentment, and hurt has been building within you for years, from allowing your boundaries to be crossed, your first attempt at expressing them might not come out the way that you hope. I always intend to be calm, direct, and empathetic, but sometimes it came out as a tantrum. I raise my voice, my tone becomes sharp, sarcastic, and even hurtful. I've said things I wish I could take back, and I've hurt people I care about. So for a very long time, I held deep shame for not being able to express myself properly. But over time, I came to realize that kind of intense reaction doesn't just come out from nowhere. If something has been repressed for so long, how can I expect myself to be calm and composed the first time it finally spills out? Your psyche is trying to protect you. It's yearning to be seen and heard. So if you have hurt somebody in the process, just take responsibility. Apologize with honesty and care, and then forgive yourself. You are learning, you are growing, and that deserves compassion as well. Know that not everything is gonna go your way. So setting boundaries is just like any relationship dynamic. It's a little bit like a chess game. You get to decide where your pieces go, but when it's the other person's turn, their move is up to them. So you can choose to speak up for yourself, but how the other person receives it and how they choose to deal with it is out of your hands. You may be met with frustration, guilt tripping, silence, or even the end of a relationship, whether it's with a family member, a partner, a friend, or a job. That part, unfortunately, you cannot control. But what you can do for yourself is to be mindful. Ask yourself, if they say no, what might I have to face? Is that something I can live with? And just as importantly, you need to ask yourself as well, am I giving in again and again to avoid discomfort at the cost of building resentment, hurt, or even burnout within myself? I'm not gonna lie to you, there is no perfect answer. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong. What matters most is that your decision is a conscious one. If it is, then I respect it, no matter what you choose. Don't expect everything to be perfect. So everybody has their own wants and needs, and sometimes those needs are gonna clash. Some of us may have more emotional or mental capacity than others at different times, which is why relationships naturally involves a lot of give and takes. We offer more when others have less, and we lean on them when we are the ones who need support. There will be times when others cross our boundaries, and there will be times when we unknowingly cross theirs. It won't ever be perfect, but we can always strive for a balance. We can aim for the middle way where both sides are seen and respected. At the heart of it all, most of us just want the same thing: to feel safe, to feel valued, to be connected. And even when we got it wrong, we can return to that intention with compassion for ourselves and for others. The promised land is real, but it may not look like the way you are expecting. The promised land is real, but it doesn't arrive quickly, and it doesn't come without its shadows. So when you first start asserting your boundaries, it can feel terrifying, especially if you're surrounded by people who don't have your best interests at heart. The pushback can sometimes be painful, even traumatizing at times. Sometimes the people that you hope would understand can respond with blame or withdrawal, and that is gonna hurt. It's especially difficult when some people choose to leave and it make it seems like your fault. But here's the truth. Once the people who disregard your boundaries begin to fall away, the right ones will slowly fall into place. Still, this is not going to happen overnight. There is going to be a period of filtering, shifting, and healing that may stir up old wounds that you have been avoiding for so long because it was just too painful to face. So in my own experience, it wasn't a sudden transformation. Setting boundaries didn't bring instant peace like a rainbow after the rain, but gradually clarity is going to emerge. But I learned the sky wasn't always clear. I learned to weather whatever came. I found strength in my ability to stay grounded. Today, setting boundaries remain a work in progress for me. I've gone through many rounds of letting go and recalibrating. I've learned to regulate myself when I feel triggered. I've found people who respect me, and my family have slowly come to understand my needs. I've also created distance from those who continue to disregard my worth. It's not perfect, but it's real and it is worth it. Seek a counselor. Of course, you can absolutely work this through on your own using the insight and suggestions I've shared. And here is why I often recommend seeking support from a counselor. It is so easy to take the other person's side, especially if you're conditioned to do so. Sometimes it's even hard to see your own pattern without somebody gently reflecting it back to you. It can get messy and confusing if you have rarely or never spoken up for yourself. It's normal to feel overwhelmed. You might not know where to begin, how much is too much, or what a healthy boundary even look like. Your nervous system may go into overdrive just thinking about asserting yourself, making it hard to think clearly or to even follow through. It might trigger old trauma. Setting boundaries can stir up painful memories and feelings from the past. Without the right support, you may find yourself re-traumatized, and that can make it harder to pick yourself back up and try again. A therapist can help you to untangle confusion, finding your starting point, building clearer pictures, and offer support when things don't go according to plan. And that's the end of the boundary series. I hope you resonate and you find them useful. And if you're considering or ready to be supported on your journey towards empowerment, to start honoring and asserting your boundaries, I'm a counselor, I'm a Reiki practitioner. Reach out to me through my email or DM me on my Instagram to book a free discovery call or a session with me. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you and see you. Bye!